Welcome back, lore lovers. After the Great Heresy, the fate of many Primarchs remained a mystery. Today, we turn our eyes to Jaghatai Khan, whose disappearance left a trail of unanswered questions. What happened to the White Tiger after the smoke of battle cleared? Let's explore his final journey and the uncertainty surrounding his fate. The White Scars, led by Jaghatai Khan, found themselves embroiled in a war of deception during the Horus Heresy. After engaging in a brutal campaign against the orcs in the Chondak system, they received conflicting astropathic messages suggesting various betrayals and alliances within the Imperium. Despite rumors of Leman Rass's treason and the Warmaster Horus's rebellion, Jaghatai refused to act without clarity. The White Scars hesitated as they encountered the Alpha Legion in Chondax, who were keen to prevent their escape and delay their arrival to Terra. Alpha Legion's manipulation seemed clear. They aimed to keep the White Scars tied up long enough to prevent them from reinforcing the Emperor's defense. However, the Khan, suspicious of the Alpha Legion's intentions, chose to act independently, prioritizing his legion's freedom from manipulation. In a heartbreaking display of strategy, Jaghatai commanded the White Scars to perform the Kizel maneuver, a lightning-fast, coordinated assault that shattered the Alpha Legion's blockade. The White Scars cut through the enemy's ranks with unparalleled speed and precision, forcing their way to open space and escaping to unknown destinations. The Alpha Legion's well-laid plans were undone by the Khan's decisive, swift actions, and the White Scars sailed toward a future unknown, determined to discover the truth of the heresy on their terms. The White Scars, sensing fate conspired against them, ventured to Chondax's source of turmoil, convinced the warp storms were manipulated by an unknown force. The Kagan led his legion to find the architect of this chaos, with Magnus the Red, the only one who could truly perceive the warp, as their beacon. If Magnus lived, salvation was possible. If dead, the Imperium was doomed. Heading toward Prospero, they found the system eerily devoid of activity, with a silent, devastated world ahead. Prospero was once a jewel, but now lay scarred, darkened by orbital bombardments and tectonic chaos. Despite the danger, the Khan teleported down with his Terminators. They found the planet dying, its surface scarred, as they began searching for Magnus. The White Scars Legion had its own hidden division, the Warriors' Lodges, which had been secretly aligning with Horus's forces since Chondax. Led by Hasik Noyan Khan, a faction within the Legion made their move, secretly taking control of the fleet. Shiban Khan, aware of this treachery, sought help but was dismissed by Jemulan Noyan Khan, whose loyalty to the Kagan was weaker. Undeterred, Shiban gathered his brotherhood, determined to oppose the coup. On Prospero, the Khan found the remnants of his brother Magnus's world, now a ruined wasteland. Searching through the ruins, the Khan and his Terminators encountered the Psych-9, warp entities that consumed Psykers' minds, growing twisted from the planet's devastation. Unable to fight these spectral horrors with conventional weapons, the Khan and his warriors retreated. During this, Jaghatai fell into an underground world of ruins, discovering caves beneath the city as his warriors struggled against the new threat. The Keshig, led by Queen Za, tried to fight back against the Psych-9, but were forced to retreat. Amid the chaos, they were aided by Rivuel Arvida, a sergeant of the Thousand Suns, who had been on Prospero since its destruction. He had no answers about the planet's fall, but offered his psychic abilities to aid the White Scars in their search for the Khan. The Khan, deeper in the tunnels, discovered a vast chamber where he encountered the psychic remnant of his brother Magnus. Though the apparition was not truly Magnus, it shared his essence and revealed grim truths about the Warp's conspiracy. Magnus admitted the failure to warn the Emperor, acknowledging his part in the ruin of the Thousand Suns. The Khan was given a choice: remain loyal to the Imperium or join Horus and bring down the Emperor. The shadow of Magnus explained that only the Primarchs could destroy the Imperium, and their fate was sealed by their choices. The Khan, uncertain of his brother's words, realized that the future of the galaxy now depended on his decision. In a divided legion, Shiban Khan's brotherhood secretly prepared to strike against the 5th Legion's flagship. Torgun Khan warned Hasik Noyan Khan that their plan to win Shiban's loyalty had failed. Despite this, Torgun was confident they had the power to control the fleet, as the Warrior Lodge brothers held command over the capital ships. They believed the return of the Kagan would validate their actions, which they saw as ensuring the White Scars would fulfill their true potential as a shock attack force. Shiban Khan led a daring assault, riding Sojutsu pattern void bikes to breach the flagship's defenses. The Brotherhood of the Storm fought their way through the chaos, overwhelmed by torpedo fire and heavy resistance. As Shiban's forces advanced, Hasik Noyan Khan struggled to maintain control, hoping to avoid bloodshed and resolve the division peacefully. However, his efforts were thwarted as a boarding party, led by Shiban, clashed with Torgun's loyalist brotherhood. The battle was fierce and brutal, but neither side wished to kill if it could be avoided. As both factions fought with cold discipline, the chaos escalated. Shiban's forces continued to gain ground, but Torgun's retreat led them into a deadly trap. The conflict reached a turning point as more incoming traitor warships entered the system, paralyzing the White Scars fleet. Amidst the battle, Jemulan Noyan Khan appeared, commanding Hasik to stand down, asserting that the Legion's course had already been decided. With both sides at a stalemate, the White Scars' fate seemed uncertain. Shiban, desperate to prevent further destruction, was approached by a frail woman in an Imperial Army general's uniform, who claimed to have the Kagan's location. She insisted that only by reaching the teleporter controls could they prevent the Legion from tearing itself apart. Hey Lord Lover, sorry for interrupting. I wanted to make sure you like and subscribe to Line Drag if you like what you see, so I can continue expanding our lore-loving community. The more you engage, the more stories I can share, so don't forget to hit that bell for updates. Meanwhile, on the ruined city of Tiska, Kinza and the Keshig ventured to find the Kagan, who had vanished into the massive hole in the square. Overwhelmed by spectral insects, the legionaries struggled until the Kagan appeared, cutting through the enemies with his sword. As he stood before them, Kinza and his warriors realized that their Primarch had returned. The Khan had witnessed the truth about the Legion's fate and understood the depth of the conspiracy within. The arrival of Mortarion, the Primarch of the Death Guard, further complicated matters as the Khan sensed his long-pursued rival had finally caught up. The storm of war raged on, and the White Scars' journey was far from over. The Keshik stood in a loose semicircle, waiting for their Khan's command, but the order never came. Their Khan, Jaghatai, had a different target in mind, for the figure who emerged from the maelstrom was no stranger. It was his brother Mortarion, the Death Lord, leader of the Death Guard Legion. Mortarion's entrance was heralded by the ominous vapor from his legionaries, clad in towering Terminator armor, and his presence was magnified by his own form, massive in ornate brass armor, his face half-masked and dripping oily gas. His sight, silence, was planted in the dust of Prospero, a sign of impending conversation, or perhaps battle. Mortarion's visit was no casual one. It was to offer a grim ultimatum. The Death Lord sought Jaghatai's allegiance, hoping to sway him to Horus's cause. Despite the flattery of shared goals, Jaghatai remained skeptical. He noted the changes in his brother, his appearance, once regal, now a shadow of decay. Mortarion spoke of the new galaxy, one where warriors could thrive without the Emperor's constraints. Jaghatai, though, knew his brother's motives were layered with deception. The Death Guard's Primarch's words echoed the long-standing desire for a new order, free from the warp's influence. Yet, Jaghatai saw through Mortarion's rhetoric. He had watched his brother's rise to power and knew the consequences of his choices. Mortarion's battle against sorcery had backfired. Now, more sorcerers thrived in the traitor legions. The Khan's warning was blunt. Mortarion had already made his pact with the warp, and it would soon demand its due. But Mortarion, ever the pragmatist, claimed that he had no allies left. His legion was being surrounded by forces he couldn't control. and the time for unity was running out. Still, Jaghatai was unmoved. He had no desire to partake in his brother's struggle. Mortarion's final plea was laced with a threat. Half of the White Scars had already sided with Horus. The choice was clear: join or be swept aside. Jaghatai's response was a cold smile. He would not bow to a new emperor, and neither would Mortarion. The Khan had no need for empire building. They were the outriders, not the kings. With that, the two Primarchs prepared for battle, and the violence that followed was a clash of ideals as much as a fight for survival. The duel between them was brutal, speed against strength. The Khan's strikes were fast and furious, but Mortarion absorbed every blow, growing stronger with each hit. The battle raged around them, warriors falling, bodies littering the field, but neither brother gave an inch. Jaghatai fought with relentless speed, while Mortarion's sheer force was overwhelming. But the fight soon shifted. Mortarion, suddenly stilled, warned Jaghatai of a war beyond their control. As if summoned by a higher power, the two brothers were whisked away in a warp storm, leaving behind a shattered battlefield and an unfinished conflict. Back abroad, the White Scar's flagship, the Khan faced his own legion in turmoil. A coup had been executed by Hasik Noyan Khan, who had sided with Horus. Jaghatai's return to the bridge marked a tense moment, the battle halting as his presence was recognized. His eyes scanned the chaos, and Mortarion's words rang in his ears. Half of your legion has already declared for Horus, but his resolve was unshaken. Jaghatai confronted Hasik, demanding to know the reasons for his betrayal. The Noyan Khan spoke of a misguided loyalty to Horus, but Jaghatai saw through it. His blade would speak for him. In a violent clash, he incapacitated Hasik, thrusting his dagger into the traitor's midriff, making it clear that the White Scars were his to command. As Hasik was left lifeless on the floor, the Khan reminded his warriors that no force would ever break their bond with him. Not Horus, not the Emperor. They were the Ordu of Jaghatai, and no one else would lead them. Unlike the first, the second Battle of Prospero was less horrific, as the Death Guard aimed to integrate an ally rather than engage in prolonged conflict. The two fleets clashed as they left the system, exchanging broadsides and attack runs. Under Mortarion's leadership, the 14th Legion managed a tactical withdrawal, outmatched by the speed and firepower of the reunited White Scars. The battle continued as Mortarion ordered a disengagement, and the Death Guard retreated into the warp. The 5th Legion halted its pursuit and regrouped, restoring order after some violent confrontations. Though some ships were lost or had fallen to rebellion, the Khan visited each one, quelling dissent. In the aftermath, several traitors were confined, and some of them took their own lives rather than face the shame of betrayal. While Arvida recovered from his ordeal, he befriended Stormseer Yes'jay, who tried to convince him to join the White Scars. Arvida rejected this offer, staying loyal to Magnus. However, he was also dealing with the ravages of the flesh change, a mutation affecting his body. Meanwhile, the White Scars engaged in guerrilla warfare against the traitors, but the pressure of the Ruinstorm and constant harassment by traitor forces forced them into a battle for survival. After a vicious conflict at the Callium Gate, the White Scars discovered the Dark Glass, an ancient device that could help them reach Terra. However, Vale, a rogue agent of the Navy's Nobilite, sabotaged the plan. Yes'jay sacrificed himself to ensure the White Scars could use the Dark Glass, opening a portal to Terra. Arvida guided the fleet but succumbed to his mutation before reaching Terra, where Malkador the Sigillite intervened and transformed him into a new being, Janus, who would later become the first Supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knights. The White Scars played a crucial role in defending Terra during the siege. Jaghatai Khan led a daring raid on the Lionsgate spaceport, cutting off reinforcements for the traitors. His hit-and-run tactics disrupted the traitor forces, allowing the loyalists to regroup. When Horus was slain, the White Scars harassed the traitors' retreat, ensuring his enemies could not escape unpunished. This relentless pursuit of the enemy would continue during the Great Scouring, where the White Scars were at the forefront. Following the Horus Heresy, the White Scars adhered to the Codex Astartes and divided into several successor chapters. Jaghatai Khan fought against the Dukari, who had raided his homeworld Chogoris, but disappeared during a mission into the Maelstrom. despite many years passing, the White Scars believed he still hunts across the galaxy, and they hold a deep grudge against the Drukhari, awaiting the Khan's return to lead them in another great crusade. Thank you for diving into the mystery of Jaghatai Khan's disappearance with me, lore lovers. If you enjoyed this journey, like, share and subscribe to keep these stories coming, and join our Discord to be part of a welcoming, cozy community of fellow lore enthusiasts discussing everything 40k and more. See you next time.